Maximus Health and Fitness podcast. We'll have to fill out a nice catchy name. This would be like M.art.in and Maximus or whatever we can.
3, 2, 1. Welcome.
Hey, thank you, Martin. And I'm excited for this new podcast.
Yes, me too. This one was long coming.
You're busy. I'm busy. I get it.
Yes. So, Mr. Alex Cameron, again, in the conversation. We had a conversation, many months ago already. And at that time, you were preparing for a competition. And this time, you're going to be in a very different role of business owner.
Yeah.
And facilitator and mentor
still a competitor.
Still competitor.
Yeah, still. We're doing show. I'm in prep now, so doing shows in the fall. So we didn't hang up that hat.
Okay, wonderful. Well, so I'm very excited. A lot of things have changed. Like I said, this one was a long time coming. It's been how many months since you took over Maximus?
This is 8 months. Well, June will be 9 months. Yeah.
Okay. A lot of things happen. A lot of good things happen for the community of Maximus, for Riverhead, for the gym members. That's why I was so excited to talk to you about these things. And let's bring it up. There's so many changes in the gym. I was really supporting you from the very second I found out that you're going to be a new gym owner, and I was so excited for it because you are an athlete. And you bring this unique perspective to the sport facility, of being the performer. And I knew that this is going to bring wonderful changes. And I was right. You did. And there's a couple things I wanted to mention and ask you to share. What are your thoughts on it? I think that gym is flourishing. There's a lot of positive changes happening. There's a lot of new initiatives. There's new energy. There's new enthusiasm. And one of the things that I find very fascinating, very, very good for the community, especially for young people, I think it's your role as a mentor of bringing them into the fitness world, the competitive world. And please talk about this.
That was fun. That happened a month ago. Aside from mentoring kids with lifting and the different competitions that were going on, I actually mentored 3 young athletes here and brought them to meet my other family, the AMBF family. That is one of the federations that I'm a professional bodybuilder in, and they killed it. They really leaned on each other, but I tried to give them as much knowledge as I could, and I told them that I would hold their hand through the process, because that's something that I wish that I really had my first time. And I hired coaches, but hired a coach for the first time. But again, there was so many questions that were unanswered for me before I stepped on stage. Actually, this weekend, it's 5 years. Tomorrow will be 5 years since I did my first competition.
Oh, happy anniversary.
Yeah. So holding their hand through the process was just so much fun. And I was glad that they did it as a group too, because they leaned on each other. If one of them was like, I don't think I can make it, the other 2 were right there to pick them up, And I really enjoyed it. Like so many people were, have asked me in the past, do you want to be a coach? And I just don't have the time. And, posing coach, yes. Just to set your macros and do check-ins, yes. But to be a full-on coach, and I have some friends that do that, I always steer people in that direction because they have the time and that's what they specialize in. And I just never want to half-ass anything. So I would be like, you know what? I'm not going to charge you guys anything. I just want to be there as a mentor, and I'll be there to answer. And I think that was more valuable to them than if I was going to be just a coach for one and not a coach for the other. Just to be a mentor for all 3, I think that's what made it work.
I think there's more to that. They were coming as if they were representing Maximus Gym. And then it's not even that you were a coach or a mentor, but you facilitated something that didn't happen before. Because there were athletes in Maximus. But there were people who used to work out here, but they were representing just themselves. But you made something different. You made them to represent Riverhead.
Yeah.
You made them to represent Maximus
as
really
a community. It was like a team, and the AMBF and a lot of federations do that before you come on stage for your routine after you've done mandatories. you read a bio where people will often thank God and their family members and people that they love in their family that have been supportive, but they all mentioned Maximus and the Maximus community and how Maximus was just there for them through the whole. So that just made me so proud that they all put that in their bios when they were being read by the MC. So it was great. It was great. That was a great moment for me.
This is the new quality that came with you taking over the gym.
Yeah, it's always been a great gym. I mean, when my wife Cheryl was a member here before I was, and she had said to me, she's like, try Maximus. And the only reason that I didn't come to Maximus was because she came here first. And you know how they say is like, couples don't go to the same gym. It's not easy to do. So I was kind of like, I saw how happy she was, and I was like, let that be your space, and I'll just rough it at Planet and wherever else. So I did that for the longest time until she was like, no, come in. And then I was just then I fell in love with it once I was here, and I was here all the time. I've been one of those guys that I've probably been here 5 to 6 days out of the week from the day I joined, unless I was on vacation. But that being said, it's a great gym. There was a community here already. What changes great gyms from the big commercial gyms is that sense of community. So even though it was there, I just needed to make it flourish more in equipment and saunas, and a paint job and refurbishing. That any gym can do that, Great social media, but when you're walking down the street and you notice somebody from the gym and you just don't give him a head nod and be like, oh, I know that guy from the gym, don't know his name, don't know what he does, don't know what his family, anything about him. But now people know what each other are passionate about. And, you see people having conversations outside of the gym because they know about each other more.
Yes. So I remember I was reading some article about like how to get fit, and then the trainer that was answering the question, he said like find a home gym, and I remember that stuck with me, the home gym, and Maximus becomes such a thing like a home gym, because now the people actually resonated with this. This is where I do my training, where my growth happens. This is really home place where the things start from.
Yeah,
and this is wonderful. You actually brought community in other ways as well, right? So you started doing the member spotlight.
I just get a sense over me. Sometimes I'll look around just like anybody else looks around, and I'm not a shy person. So when somebody inspires me, I go up to them and to tell them. And it's not just like, hey, you're looking great. Hey, you're kicking butt, because that's great.
Yeah.
But now that I have this platform, I want them to be able to, I really want to let them know, like, you don't just inspire me, you inspire a lot of people, and I think you would inspire even more if they knew your story, after I hear their story. And I just, some of the stories are amazing, and I would have never known myself, like,
right.
Some of the stuff that people have been through, whether it be weight loss journeys, loss of loved ones, it's just, all of it is inspiring, and it shapes that person. It's the way they live their life. So it's who they are today because of those moments. So it's great that they're sharing that with us.
It's funny, actually, I shared that with you a couple months ago. I noticed that some other Long Island gyms were doing this, but it happened after you started doing this.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's...
Imitation is the best form of flattery. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I think that also brought a lot of good relationship to the community. People started recognizing each other through this stories.
Yeah, and it's funny, like, people have come and said to me, like, well, we recently had Nestor Kramer. Here's an 84-year-old man. People are treating him like he's a rock star. I mean, what a great moment for that man, where people like Nestor, they wouldn't know his name. They just know him because we're constantly posting his story and as he was doing that cardio. You know what I mean? And it's happening with other people, whether they're doing 5Ks or whether you're couture that just did a high rocks, the bodybuilders that we just talked about, the bodybuilders that are doing competition, a couple weeks ago, or next week is peak week for Janine Defina and other people that came into our posing clinic. So it's just like people, it's nice when somebody's like, hey, congratulations, or hey, good luck. That's that sense of community that I'm looking for,
I think that's accomplished. And in very short time, it's only, like you said, 8 months, and already the changes are palpable. Like it is different. There's a different enthusiasm and different energy. It's my observation, and some other people that I know and then spoke about this. So
Yeah.
congratulations.
And we have great people here, and that's that's kind of one of the things I just want to celebrate is like there's really great people here.
Tells about your mindfulness of the community. There's people are everywhere in every community, but not everybody like put a spotlight on them, and that's the difference.
Yeah, and we're actually currently doing it with instructors.
Yes,
Because, I don't want people to ever, watch this podcast or watch the lives or see these reels and be like, oh, that's a serious bodybuilder's gym, or they lift a lot of weight. That's a power lifter's gym, or, just any of that. There's no, I don't want to ever get pigeon. This is a gym for everybody, so there's no pigeonholing it to this one category. George Woodall's doing a triathlon tomorrow. Katora just did a high rocks yesterday.
Oh.
And the instructors is another big part of it because this gym is huge for the amount of classes that it has in it. So there's people that once they can get there, say, oh, there's classes too. And like, what are the classes about? If you guys are a bodybuilder gym, well, we're not. Come on in, we'll show you. So now that they're seeing these instructors on and being spotlighted, it's like, oh, wow, they started with Zumba, or, they themselves had a weight loss journey. And now, they're so inspirational to their class. It invites people in and says, no, there's a spot for you too.
You expanded the offer of the gym. Let's start with simple things like more equipment. Pretty much, from the start, you decided that there's a couple new machines that you wanted to introduce.
We definitely got to add more too. I'll probably be putting a poll up, but I have a good idea in my, what I want to add. But it's also what pieces do I got to get rid of. So nobody likes that. Like we got rid of that one shoulder, like a free weight shoulder, military seated shoulder rack that a lot of people apparently liked, and we ended up bringing it back. And I found room for it. But if we want more. There's certain things got to go. And fortunately, some of it's going to be cardio. If I do want to add a high rocks area, I can't go up, I can't go down, and I can't go sideways. So we got to take stuff that's on the floor and get rid of it and make room. So if people want to jump on a plyo box and not have their head go through the ceiling, I'm going to have that on the main floor. So some of that stuff's going to have to go, and I'm going to have to figure out what pieces to move.
You have a good judgment because as an athlete, you are familiar with pretty much every single machine. That's a good question. Did you exercise on every single machine in the gym?
No. I haven't. Like I don't. It's funny. I don't do my right outside this room here. I always I'll look at stuff and I'll be like, still never been on that. And it's one of those things that I've thought about when I would lock up if I'm the only one in here. Yeah. It was like, should I just go on every one? But I will eventually, that's on my to-do list, is to literally have a tutorial of every machine exercise. This way, if somebody's showing it, that I have it in an app, or that I can have it on the website, and boom, I could just send it to the person. This way, a lot of people, that's one of the things that was great about Trainers Day, was people come in and get to see a trainer actually show you how to use a machine the correct way. Because there's times when you come in here and, it happens. I know I've done it, you've done it. I think everybody has done it in their life, has been doing something wrong or wrong form. But there's some people that they don't even understand if an exercise is a push or a pull when they look at it, you know? So that would be very helpful. So that's on my to-do list.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Really good one. You also brought completely new classes. A dance, whole dance.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna add. There's people in there now. We're gonna go back there for a men's group in a little bit. I saw there's people in there doing some ballroom dancing too. But look at the space. There's people that do join this gym just because they're like, wow, this space isn't used at certain hours. I can practice my dancing. Or there's people that go in there and practice boxing. Or it's just a great space. So at a Friday night, and I knew that Peconic Eatery was doing a salsa night. We went over to celebrate somebody's birthday one night because they had salsa there, and I approached the gentleman. I was like, what are you doing before that? And I was like, what about a salsa class at the gym? He was like, all right. So right now it's on a hiatus because he's coming from East Hampton. I don't think Peconic Eatery is doing that salsa on Friday nights either right now, but it'll be back in the fall, and it'll be well received then too. a lot of the people that even, that were going to that Friday night salsa class, once the summer, they're seasonal workers too, a lot of the people, where it's like, I can't get there for 5 o'clock salsa class because I already got to start my work. So it'll be well received in the fall. Well, the numbers will be big. I went on one, and it's a workout. Yeah, my hips were killing me.
So that's great. Those are all new things that haven't been here before, and now they are. You also go above and beyond to bring some perks that come with the membership, whether that be a cup of coffee or a bagel.
Oh,
or
when we did, so
something
yeah,
like that.
I'll bring that back. I don't think people understood it. A couple people realized, because we do have a lot of the members here that are over at Goldberg's. So I think with the help of Daisy and there's other girls and the guys that were like, you can come over here and get a free coffee and a bagel. You guys, Maximus paid for it already. All you got to do is spend like all you had to do is spend $5, and you would also get a coffee and a bagel. And people took advantage of that. But it's funny, like all people had to do was to go and spend like an appetizer at Jerry's, and they were going to get a free drink. And people, I don't think that they got the idea. But I will revisit that again after the summer.
Sometimes when there's like just a lot of things happening, they just get lost in the amount, the sheer amount of the information. Well, you mentioned the men's group that we together host. That's another thing that happened here.
Yeah,
haven't been here before.
And I'm finding more and more members coming in and asking about it. And it's like anything else. When we added it, I was asking people to come. Now I don't ask anybody. I just leave it to like who wants to come, and it's grown organically. It's always, the numbers are always good. Me and you, we ham and egg it pretty well together. Thank God for you, because I wouldn't be able to do it on my own. That's for sure.
I want to just say, when we were talking about it, the reason you gave for it, like I remember you said the Maximus Health and Fitness, it's in the name, the health, and then you care clearly about the physical health, right? Like the proper nutrition, promoting a healthy lifestyle, but you said like mental health is part of health as well, and that's supposed to be part of our community. So you give a really good
100%
rationale for having that.
Besides the men's group, that's the reason why I'm speaking to Laracy, Dylan, Steve, and Kira for heading up young adult Bible study. And not everybody is a Christian or believes in God, but for the people that do, to have strong faith is for them, it's very healthy. For them to have a strong faith, your mental health, your physical health, I think that all three of them work congruently.
You really provided a lot of venues for a lot of different ages.
And then to make it feel safe for them, that's a young adult Bible study. So me and you can't go in there. It's way they can be themselves. Because if me and you were in there, they think, they're the curators of it.
Yeah.
And that all of a sudden makes them act a certain way. Maybe they're not themselves. They can't be genuine.
Right.
But if they're amongst their peers, they can really just be the way they are and ask questions and get as much knowledge from their peers. They're going to be closed off if somebody like me or you in that room. So we got our men's group, to all ages. We've had a couple of young guys in there, so we try to keep it to adult, adult males. But this young adult Bible study, I think it's going to take off and do very well.
When I think about it, that's not even everything that you brought into this community. Like another thing is like you brought new services, the tank. You brought massage.
Yeah, we got more coming too. I know there's going to be something.
Talk about it.
So I know we're going to have like either like a red light therapy, like some sort of cryo, Botox fillers.
Wow.
Yeah, like there's definitely and that's going to be pop-up type stuff.
Saunas.
Where the saunas are coming. Yeah, so on Monday, I know people are going to be like, yeah, right. No, on Monday, if you want to come in, I'm not lying. There's an architect coming in doing measurements. I'll be able to order them up, and hopefully, if there's no red tape with it, then I should see saunas here in July.
Well, those are really exciting announcements.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah, and if people are wondering about saunas, obviously there's one in the men's, one in the women's. It's not a communal I didn't have to bust out a wall and lose any of that functional room, because that's some people's favorite part of the gym, is that functionality room where you can slam wall balls down, or jump up on plyos, do chin-ups on the monkey bars. So I'm not touching that room at all, which I'm kind of happy about.
That's awesome. Those are big announcements. Wow. Wow, I'm excited for cryo, actually.
It's just funny because people are going to be like, well, how does that change? Why do you already have a cold tank? Everybody thinks that this tank's a cold tank.
Oh, the plunge.
It's just like, tell me about that cold plunge. I'm like, it's so funny. That's like the number one question people ask me about Get Tanked all the time. And
maybe you should do a cold plunge,
It's just so funny. I'm like, it's not a cold plunge. It's actually very warm.
Well, continuing, you brought the posing room and the posing clinics.
Yeah, so we have one next weekend too, and it's not just me and a couple of the other members. We're bringing professional instructors. Not that some of myself and the other instructors weren't professional, and the way we presented the posing clinics and instructed, but we have the head of a federation that's a pro in, God, I don't know how many, a countless amount of and he's been in the industry for at least 4 or 5 decades, and he's still competing at the age of 62 or 63. So he's here. So I mean, you're talking about knowledge, and Lena comes in to instruct the bikini and wellness. So it's there's people traveling. It's not just like yeah I'll help out, and I'm already here, I'll help out. It's well planned out, and people are driving from 2 and 3 hours away, and the numbers have just gotten big. I'm hoping that the numbers don't completely tank because we're charging for this first one, but it's been free for the longest time, and it's not like I'm making money off this, but it'd be nice to be able to pay for somebody's gas that's driving 2 and 3 hours away, and maybe bring him, just get him a sandwich before they turn around and make that trek home.
That is perfectly reasonable.
Yeah.
And this is why I was exciting for athlete taking over a gym, because this is your professional connections. Those are this is the network that you develop throughout competing out there, being in the network of competitors and judges and coaches.
Yeah.
So you're bringing them to East End of Long Island.
Yeah, and I mean, I just expect it to expand too, because I have friends that are up in Connecticut. You see the flyers that I put up. One of those shows, and we'll be a sponsor for that one show that's in Rhode Island. A friend of mine, Mike Ventura, he promotes a show for the AMBF. Some of our competitors will go up to that, and those people will come over on the ferry and go to the posing clinic. It's just, I want the Maximus family to just grow outside of these 4 walls.
So all that happened just in 8 months. You told me right before the interview, I asked you how you feel. You said you were tired.
You're tired today, yeah.
No wonder you're tired when you do all these things and bringing all these things.
Well, it's the dad duty a lot of the times too. I just got back from Hauppauge. Quinn has a basketball game, and I could only catch the first one because we got the men's group meeting tonight, and the same thing tomorrow. And next week I'm actually not going to be around. Kira qualified for states, so I'm going to be up in Rochester. So like that type of stuff, where I normally, if I was an empty nester, I'd be in bed every night at 9 o'clock, and I would be so happy. And it's funny how you could, when you do get the right rest, how you can notice how good your body feels. I don't need one of those rings anymore. I know exactly. Need 7 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Need to eat a certain way. And need to have those rest days. Like I'm not that no days off guy. Even though we say it, and I'll have an active rest day. Need that rest day from the gym here and there. It's funny because a lot of times I won't work out here if I want to work out, because I'll be like, people will want to make a recommendation, or tell me that things are going great, or obviously people that didn't know me before know me now. But I love it when I get that good feedback. I love it when I get any feedback. I love it when somebody tells me a great suggestion too, because it's like, I put it right in my notes, and a lot of times act on it right away.
implemented.
But it's great when, like an OG, like I said, I haven't been here that long at this gym. I think I came in right before COVID. So, but there's people that, were here right from the very beginning. And when they say something like, hey, it's really good to see a gym in the hands of somebody who is a gym goer, it's a good feeling, Am I still learning every day? Absolutely. Like, do I still have so much more to learn? Absolutely.
So it sounds like you already brought it to a certain point. You have a vision for bringing new things and developing community.
Yeah.
But what are your hopes for maybe for the until from now to the end of the year?
I just hired Osborne Media because a lot of my time is spent on just advertising people, promoting people that are in this gym, and promoting the gym through social media. And people are like, oh, I really love social media. They really love the social media because it was non-existent before.
Yeah.
We started off doing funny things because I thought that would hook people in and be like, oh, that's pretty funny. And now none of it's really funny. It's just we're staying active, keeping the ball rolling. But it's it's not all that interesting when it's like the same stuff, and it's even though it's be like, oh, it's a new instructor spotlight or it's a new member spotlight. If people don't know them, they'll just scroll right past it. So. Yeah. Osborne Media will be interesting. It'll be a buzz about the gym, which is great because they'll come in and they'll tape it the way it is. I do expect the gym to change, like the look of it. You know what I mean? The color. I don't want to go into what the colors will be, but changing the colors, changing machines. Having different clubs. There's some. We brought people down to a bodybuilding competition. I'm going in July. I think I'm going to be bringing people to a powerlifting competition. Yes, they have them on the island, but they just feel like they've gone to another gym and do it. I would bring them to a real meet. Bring them to a real powerlifting meet.
Yeah, that's another thing I forgot to mention. There's a powerlifting club.
Yeah. We'll still do that twice a year, and that's fun. Like, it's so fun to watch people root for each other when they're lifting heavy ass weight. And I mean, there are. One girl just blew my mind, and like people need to know about her. Jane, squats 430, deadlifts 415 or 420, I think it was, and benches 220, and she's only 18 years old and been lifting for a year.
Wow.
When you look that up, we're talking about something really special. Like, it's not like, oh, every gym has somebody like that.
Yeah.
No. She might be the one in Long Island, and she doesn't even know it, So, I want people to know about her. It's like, you are insane. Like, it's like Olympics quality. You know what I mean? And she and still works really hard. It's not like that's some people are just strong, but she's obviously worked her ass off.
There's a gift.
Yeah.
You post sometimes just like a good athletic challenge.
Yeah.
From time to time, something that is,
And we'll continue to have stuff like that. Like you said, what we do from now at the end of the year. For the summer, so many people, this room that we're sitting in right here, I don't know if people know, but this room that we're sitting in here, back before COVID, used to be daycare. And it was great for any parents that wanted to come and lift, whether they were single or together, to be like, all right, I can get my lift in if I can just go drop my kid off. But unfortunately, that's not coming back. This is a posing room, and get tanks in here, and I don't have any more real estate here where I can just make a room childcare. But we are looking at doing, and I'm talking with a couple of the people that are coaches and also a trainer, Laracy. We're going to do a boot camp. And I'm trying to figure out the ages of people. I think 5 to 12 would work. I'm probably going to put a poll out for that, but that's going to start in June. So that's the whole summer. It would be like all of July and August. Just 2 weeks, not every day, but 2 of the days out of the week, which would be great for, like a lot of people, like, I can't wait for school. In August, they're like, I can't wait for school to start back up again. Here's, you could actually drop your kid off for the hour or for the 2 hours, because there'll be 2 sessions with a half an hour in between. Go do your errands, or you can bring them in here, drop them off for our boot camp, and get your workout in.
Great.
So that's something for the summer. And then it'll be interesting once the fall starts because that'll be one full year, and I haven't even thought that far ahead, you know. But October will be a year. Not that I'm being. You have to be a little selfish. I'm in prep, and my shows will be in September and in October, and then once I turn that switch off, then I can put full attention back into the gym. But even my wife and me were like, I can't compete and be a new gym owner. You know, it's just too much. But again, what other better way to lead than to lead from the front and lead by example? So I was like, you know what? Hell with it. I'm doing it.
It's a very specific business because, you know, it obviously has the parts of business that, you know, you have to manage, like accounting and bills and everything, but that specific business that promotes fitness.
Yeah.
So you promote it by being an athlete and a competitor. So, yeah, I don't think how would that be in conflict, you know?
Yeah,
Other
well,
than
just
the
time-wise.
time, right.
Yeah, time-wise, a daughter that's going off to college.
Yeah.
2 kids that play sports, you know, so we're juggling. We'll be juggling, but this year will be interesting. That was one of the reasons that I started it a month and a half early, where I'm already down 15 pounds. And this time, the last year I prepped in 224, I was probably 195, where I'm like 185 right now. So that's 10 pounds. That's like 10 weeks. So I'm ahead. Thank God, because it's not fun to run to catch the bus at the end, especially when you're trying to do so much, putting out fires here and there.
I would want to do with you very specific podcast one day on the techniques of prep. You know, like cutting calories.
Yeah.
How long would it supposed to take? You
Yeah.
know, to have enough time, and those are interesting things. I think a lot of people would be interested.
And everybody, yeah, I think they would want to know, and perspective-wise, they would probably be like, how long, you know, God, it's 54 years old. How long does he need? And I think we need more time. I think we need at least 20 weeks. You know, I know guys that do it, they're half the year, they're in prep when they're the years that they're going to compete, you know, and are they doing it because they're older, or are they doing it because they're wiser? They're like, you know what? I need that full time, and it's just a lot easier to do the slow burn than to be like, let me just sprint for 16 weeks. So I don't know, you know, is it the chicken or the egg?
I think that's a lot of exciting news for, at least for our first episode here, and they're really great announcements, Alex. I think this is exciting for the community. I'm excited for. I want to definitely do cryo, like, as soon as you have it, and other things. So sauna, those are great health benefits. So you bring in biohacking to Maximus. That's great. We're going to be actually leading the
yes, we got to cut this short because we
group.
got to go set up with the coffee machine in there, the water, the table, get ready for greet these gentlemen.
Yeah, but Maximus is bringing more health, fitness, and well-being to Riverhead community.
Yep. Obviously, if you're seeing this podcast, you've missed our men's club for tonight, but our next one is on June 27th. That's a Saturday night, and we started at 5:30.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, bud. This is going to be exciting. I'm
Thank
glad
you for having me.
running the Maximus Health and Fitness podcast. We'll have to fill out a nice catchy name. This would be like M.art.in and Maximus or whatever we can, you know. But I have an idea who I want you to do who I want you to interview for the next podcast.